Alright, Heyman, just hold that thought. Let's also welcome in Manish Sonthalia, VP and Fund Manager at Motilal Oswal AMC. Manish, morning. We've been looking at the markets and there's been some kind of volatility over the last couple of trading days. What's your sense in terms of the outlook now?
I think in terms of headline numbers, you are seeing markets at higher levels, but it is due to HUL moving up or an ITC moving up. Broadly, if you speak, the markets are actually not going anywhere. And I think going forward, it will be more directed by what happens in the global markets. I think the latest move of China on rates is helping global equities. So results are a disappointment by and large. Some of the names that have come out with numbers are clearly somewhat short of expectations. So I think it's going to yo-yo between what happens on the global basis in equities. Nothing really to talk about on the positive side as far as domestic cues are concerned.
Okay, just about a minute and a half left to go. Hemant, just to come back on some of the other larger stocks where we've seen numbers come in. L&T, after the dust has settled, BHEL, finally some stability after the huge sell-off. What are you doing with these stocks?
No, both of them I'm on sell or rise. If you see the way the rollover positions are taking place, both are on the short side. It's just too much sell-off that they are seeing some respite buying. See, L&T has a very strong bottom around 880. So if you are a hardcore trader, you can try to go long with a stop loss of 880, but I don't see L&T crossing 935, 940 now. BHEL is in a very big problem. The moment it has broken below 175, 176, now it is showing a lot of weakness. So yes, a bounce back can be expected till 170, but both these stocks for me are sell on a rise. So wait for small opportunities of pullback and then go short on them.
Hemant, before we let you go today, are you buying anything at all in the market right now? Any moves on the upside?
No, there are a lot of stocks in fact which I feel which are doing good. So FMCG, I am a complete buyer. I know they have already run up, but they still look strong. But Titan is one which I feel that it can, in among the mid caps, that can really move another 25-30 rupees from these levels also. Then I am a buyer in auto, in Bajaj Auto and M&M. Both of them are showing strong rollovers. So these are the other two stocks that I will be bullish on. M&M with a target of 950 and a Bajaj Auto with a target of 2030. So I will be buying these stocks also.
Alright, Hemant, thanks for joining in this morning and getting us a perspective. Just a couple of seconds left for the markets to kickstart live trading. Hero Motors, a big number to keep an eye out for today. The company will be reporting their earnings. Let's see how that one actually pans out ahead of their numbers today. But it's going to be somewhat for the SGX Nifty indicated a lower opening, and that's what we've got, 120 odd point cut coming in as far as the index is concerned. We just have a couple of stocks that are in green right now, but most of the entire screen apart from those three stocks is pretty much on the negative, 130 odd points lower now. HUL taking a little bit of a knock-in trade today, just trading margin lower there. HDFC Bank 1.7%, pull up SBI. The banking counters will be the focus. SBI is down almost 2% cut coming on that one. Take a look at ICICI Bank. That one's lost out almost 4% or so is the kind of cut that we've seen on that particular stock as well. You have some of the other movers like HDFC Bank, which is down nearly 2% right now. Some more losers on the street: Hindalco, M&M, Sterlite, Wipro also down nearly 2.2%. Is the kind of cut that we've seen in trade today. Maruti is trending low by nearly 0.8%. Hero Moto down by nearly 0.6% right now. HU's moved into green there. ITC holding on to gains of around about 0.4%. RL and ONGC are some of the other stocks that are just showing some marginal gains right now. And the index now just down by around about 89 to 90 odd points. It's once again only the banking pack which seems to have taken most of the knock. But apart from that, some of these stocks are actually showing a little bit of positive sign. You can see a screen also after that huge opening in red has moved to a little bit of green right now, where a couple of stocks have managed to move into positive territory. Alright, let's get a quick check on the Nifty as well. What kind of cues are you picking up there? The index at around about 6033, 44 odd points lower, 30 stocks losing, 20 stocks still gaining is the kind of ratio that we're picking up right now. Individual movers, let's see how that's performing. You have Lupin, which is up by 1%, ONGC, Dr. Reddy, Infi, all trending higher over 0.5%. But take a look at IndusInd Bank, 7% knock on that particular counter. PNB, 4%. Axis Bank, 3.5%. BOB, 3.6% is the banking pack. That's definitely taken a huge knock in trade today on the back of those announcements coming in from the RBI itself. IDFC also down nearly 3.6% in that space. So it's been a pretty weak picture there. And you see a clear impact come in when we talk about the banking majors.
That's right. We've got a lot of problem in the banking arena. Actually, 3% down on the Bank Nifty, 3.5% now. There's a big cut. It's not just about IndusInd Bank. Yes Bank, as one would expect, is also taking a huge knock, 5.5% down on that stock. Then your entire clutch of mid-cap banks, Syndicate, Canada, Dana, Union Bank of India, even in ING Vysya Bank, we're looking at a drop of around 2 to 3% on most of these stocks. The worst hit, of course, are Yes and IndusInd. There's no doubt about that. Wockhardt is down 10 to 11%. There's been news overnight. The FDA is now saying that there is some kind of interference in the FDA's process of trying to look at the plants. So there's a lot of negativity surrounding that stock. The agency documented that your firm withheld truthful information and delayed and limited inspection. These are words of the US FDA, and they're doing plenty of damage to Wockhardt, as we can see out there. Side of this, SpiceJet reports that Mr. Neil Mills has quit, not working well for the counter at all. There's a 2 to 3% drop there as well. So these are some of the initial trends that we are picking up. Of course, the mid-cap market is fairly muted as one looks at grappling with some of these issues. It's mostly bank stocks that are active on the volumes, and they're mostly trading on the downside. That's this morning. Manish, what about the banks now? There is this whole issue of margin pressure and cost of funds that's come in. Till about 2-3 weeks back, we would only discuss asset quality. Now there's this new concern on the horizon. What would you do with the stocks?
I think clearly the wholesale funded banks are to be avoided. We're looking for, in fact, it's time to actually be slightly underweight banks, or at best an equal weight on the banking space as a whole. But within the banking space, I think banks which have a relatively higher CASA ratio. So within that, we have the likes of an HDFC Bank or a State Bank of India, which would do relatively better. And on top of that, banks which are not having too much of an AFS book, because bond losses are going to come in banks where the AFS quantum is higher than the others. So I think within that, we would like to stick around with something like a JNK Bank in the mid-cap space, very high CASA ratio, or a State Bank of India or an HDFC Bank. Yes, there would be margin compression, but and there would be an impact on credit growth as well if this was to continue for some more time. But I think we are now still believing that these measures are temporary, and this would be reversed once the volatility in the currency subsides.
The banking stocks definitely on the lower side of this, what we've seen in trade today. But Manish, the other pocket of the market that's been seeing some kind of support over the last couple of days has been the consumer pack. Talk about HUL, that stock's been on fire, 720 odd levels in trade today as well. What are your thoughts when we talk about the consumer space going forward from here? Is there probably some more value, because the valuations definitely have shot up quite sharply?
Yeah, I think one trade which is happening in the markets is that if you don't have anything else to buy, you go and pile on consumer stocks. So not everything is a buy in the consumer FMCG space as well, and clearly the likes of HUL or even an ITC at around current levels is definitely an avoid, because for an HUL these are penetrated categories, and you're not going to see the growth which the markets are building in at a 700 rupee stock price. Just because the liquidity factor is there, and you have the floating stock which has gone away, there is some sort of an index management that is happening. But clearly, I would not subscribe to buying a ITC or a lever at these prices. But yes, there are mid-cap FMCG names which still have value. Slightly for a longer term, medium to long term, you can look into them. But otherwise, these big names are clearly avoids.
So we were just discussing some of these stocks on technicals earlier, Manish, the likes of L&T and what's been happening with BHEL of late. From a fundamental standpoint, if someone's willing to hold for 6 months to a year, would you buy these stocks at all?
BHEL is an avoid. It's a clear avoid. I know valuations are cheap, but it might just get cheaper because the whole power sector is in a mess. There is no coal. If there is no coal and there are plants which are half constructed and full constructed, where are you going to get the orders for turbines being placed on BHEL, etc. So Revival in BHEL is at least 1.5 to 2 years away. So during that time period, it may just get even cheaper. I think the best of the pack is L&T, but they reported disappointing set of numbers. The execution was there, but it was muted. Margins have been lower, so newer orders are coming at lower margins. That is what you can interpret. It's not coming from India; it is coming from outside India, which is one of the reasons why margins are lower. I would be slightly comfortable if L&T was lower than what the current prices were. But if I was to bet on the capital good infra space, it would be just L&T, nothing else.
Manish, what about the oil and gas pack? ONGC today also is gaining around about 1.2%. Reliance Industries had a little bit of a stable set on earnings, at least that's what the analyst community made of the performance there. Your thoughts are when we talk about the oil and gas space, and if any stocks are on the radar?
Yeah, I think you named it. It is Reliance, it is Cain India, it is ONGC. These would be the three beneficiaries of a rupee depreciation. Added to that, the benefits of a gas price increase would surely be there on ONGC for one, sure. And if the oil ministry is to be believed that increased gas prices would be trickling down to the P&L of ONGC and it would not go away as subsidies, then ONGC is a clear beneficiary. Reliance reported a very good set of numbers, I would think. Yes, refining margins were slightly lower at $8.4, but that's it. Going forward, I think the projects which they are having, their turnaround in the retail sector, telecom, whatever they are doing on that front, hopefully should be positive for the profit and loss account. Valuations are extremely supportive. And third is basically Cain India. So these would be the three names which would be on our radar, as far as portfolios are concerned.
So Manish, what's the advice from here on? I mean, we're looking at index levels of around 6,000 odd, so it's not exactly a market at 5,500 where you can buy more easily. What are the top themes that you would advise?
Well, this index level is an illusion, whether the markets are at 5,500 or whether the markets are at 6,100 or 200. The bulk of the market is actually trading at less than 10,000 on the Sensex. So, let's keep that aside, and I think it is all going to be stock specific. Individual stocks are going to make a dent here or there. Even when the markets have not gone anywhere in the last 5.5 years, you have seen stocks actually move up 10 times, and at the same time there are stocks which have lost 90-95% of the market cap. So index is not to be looked into. It is all individual stocks that one should focus on.
So Manish, talking about that strategy itself, what are some of the pockets that could probably be top performers when we talk about this year itself? What's on your radar?
I think in terms of sectoral allocation, the best visibility you have is in the consumer names. But they are pricey, they are expensive. So you got to be choosy about what you're buying in the consumer pack. Then because of the rupee depreciation, it is going to be the export theme which is going to hog the limelight for the rest of the year. So you have the likes of mid-cap IT or frontline IT, pharma that should be there on your radar. Telecom is one space which is actually gaining traction now, and markets are still refusing to believe the positivity surrounding telecom. So again, you're going to see this sector outperform. I think these would be the three sectors that should be on the radar.
All right, Manish, always good talking to you. Thanks for taking out the time and being with us this morning. That's a view from Motilal Oswal AMC. Just back to the markets, let's see what's going on here. It's still plenty of pressure for the banks. That hasn't changed, but the index has recovered to an extent. There's just about a 0.5% drop now on the Nifty. The currency, as we can see, once again moving towards 59, 57 odd levels, so not too much of appreciation. For the market, looking at some stability from the initial gap down.
Alright, so that's the kind of performance we're picking up. On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of First Trade. Stay tuned. In Business coming up next in just 2 minutes from now.
First Trades, presented by BSC, Investors Protection Fund.